What is going on, everybody? Malcolm back again for Majestic Skies Gaming. And as you can see in front of me, we got another really exciting ROG Ally video. As I promised in the last video, I've created a new setup with this little ROG Ally. We've turned it into a all-out flight simulator. So to start things off, I'll kind of just go over this full setup, explain how I've done this here, and then we'll give it a test and we'll see how this works. But before we get into it, do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, as it really helps my channel grow. Okay, without further ado, let's go over exactly what I've done here. So the ROG Ally is, of course, in a little dock. So I got it on a little dock here. Have it set up with a Bluetooth keyboard. You could honestly just remove this if you don't need it, if all your keys are mapped and everything to the flight stick and to the throttle quadrant. You don't necessarily even need a keyboard, but it's good to have, so I got that in the middle there. I got this Airzopa 14-inch external monitor, 1080p, looks really, really nice, honestly. And I do have it mounted on a extendable stand, so I want to actually give a shout out to whoever suggested that on the past video, because this setup definitely wouldn't be possible without that. I would like if this thing would go a little bit higher, but when you're actually using it, it's actually at a pretty perfect height. So as far as what I'm running here, as you can see, I got it set up in dual screen mode on X-Plane 11. So this will run Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I didn't install it myself because it's about 150 gigabytes, and I didn't really want to put all that on here. And this video is really more to show the setup itself rather than show the gaming performance on Microsoft Flight Simulator. So X-Plane 11 will suffice for that. I tried X-Plane 12, but it didn't really work all that good. It was running, but with pretty low frame rates. But that game is honestly demanding on pretty much any hardware, so we won't really fault the ROG Ally too much on that. Other than that though, let's get a closer look at this now and check out this game. We are fully booted up into X-Plane 11 here now. As you can see, I got the G1000 system in the airplane on the ROG Ally, and I have kind of the cockpit view outside of the airplane. So this system here is the Logitech X52. Before I get hated on the comments for, you bought that just for this video? No, I didn't. I actually got these used for only $75. So honestly, really, really cheap for that. It's actually a really nice system for $75. And I really love how all the colors match the ROG Ally kind of white and blue scheme. But I think everybody wants to go ahead and see some gameplay here, so we'll just take we'll turn off the pause menu there, and we'll kind of just get going here. We'll go ahead and take off here. I just got to release the brakes. We're in kind of a smaller little aircraft here that still has a jet. Took me a little bit to get all the controls set up, but this is basically the best I could get for now without going too into it. Okay, we are reaching approximately 100 knots. We should be approaching VR right now. I'm actually not sure what the rotation speed is for this particular aircraft. I can tell you right now, this airport is not really designed for aircrafts that have that fast of a rotate speed. But go ahead and put the landing gear up. Got that configured on that side. And normally you do your noise abatement turn at this airport. And we'll go ahead and do a circuit. Okay, we're at the circuit height now, 1200. We'll go ahead and reduce power now. So we're going to do just kind of a standard circuit here and going for landing. But I absolutely love how this system looks here. Really, honestly, it's as crazy as it is to say, it actually is not really that impractical for real kind of use. Like if you're a flight student or something, this would be great, if you're just renting a room or something, you don't have a lot of space, and let's say you already have the ROG Ally, you're going to be laughing getting this thing. So we'll come in for a landing now. We'll get in flap extension range. I actually think we're already pretty much there, so we'll go full flaps here. We're kind of at the threshold of the runway. Can't see it, but you have to increase throttle and pitch trim down. There we go. Okay. Getting ready here. Yeah, once we put the landing gear down. Normally you wouldn't do full flaps already, but it's fine. Alright, Cliff traffic, this is Quebec November Uniform Delta, turning a left base for runway 09 for stop landing. But yeah, you can see, honestly, runs pretty smooth. I have basically everything kind of set up how you'd want it. And the dual screen setup works great. I have it plugged in right now, but it does actually work unplugged. So theoretically, you could take this on the go with you to a coffee shop or something. Or I don't know, if you're actually doing flight lessons, as I am, you could theoretically bring it in for your flight lesson and do a bit of flight simming before your lesson. Something along those lines. Cliff traffic, turning final, runway 09, full stop landing. I don't have too much practice in this particular aircraft, so this might not be the greatest landing, but we'll see here. Going too fast though. 500. Yeah, we should be a lot lower than 500 here. Landing gear down, flaps full. Not too high, not too low. Proceeding with landing. Alright, so here's the threshold of the runway. We'll see how we do with this landing here. Ground rush. Yeah, this is looking pretty good here. Flaps up. And there you have it. So just a quick little circuit here in this aircraft. I'll go ahead and show you some other aircraft as well, and you can get an idea of what those ones look like. Speakers, honestly, are acceptable in the ROG Ally for this. Gives you a pretty nice cockpit experience with the front firing speakers right at you, right in front of you. Yeah, let's see how this takeoff was. Alright, as you can see now, I am in a Cessna 172, very common training aircraft. You see we're in the cockpit now, very realistic, pretty much true to life on this one, so yeah, I really like this one. We have our little X-Plane GPS system set up on the Logic, or on the ROG Ally, and once again, got the cockpit view on the big screen. This one, obviously, you would fly with a regular yoke, but we do still have the rudder control, of course, and we get all our movements with the flight stick. Other than that, let's go ahead and take this puppy off. So, release the parking brake. And we'll go for a soft field takeoff. So we can set 10 degrees of flaps. 10 degrees of flaps set. We're going to go full back pressure. Yeah, we'll go slightly less than full. No, X-Plane's a little bit janky sometimes with certain things. Okay, full power, we want to get that full nose wheel up right away. Okay, nose wheel is up. I'll take off as soon as humanly possible. Might not be the greatest takeoff, but I really want to practice. Okay, we're up. I want to practice my soft field technique here. I'm going to maintain ground effect after takeoff, which is why I'm pushing forward back to the runway. Approaching VY, best rate of climb reached. Climbing at VY. Okay, let's do a simulated emergency landing right now with no experience or no planning whatsoever. Okay, we'll get our best glide speed. We just had an engine failure. We're going to start looking for a field right away to land in. Best glide speed 65. We're in a very heavily populated area. I see somewhere I might be able to land though. This field right here. Okay, that's our field. We don't have much time here. Mayday, this is November 172 Sierra Papa, November 172 Sierra Papa, November 172 Sierra Papa is type Cessna 172. We had an engine failure at low altitude, coming in for an emergency landing in a field. Mayday, November 172 Sierra Papa. Okay, so now we're going to have to pick our turn here. We actually don't have enough time to really do a proper approach, so we'll go full flaps here. And we'll kind of just land in this field here, do a descending turn. Oh, actually right over there. Okay, obstacles, we have a power line over there. We're getting way too slow here. We're going to land just beside this power line here. Get our best glide speed here. Okay, our best landing speed, 60. Okay, that looks good. And we're actually going to do a forward slip to get down a little bit quicker. Actually, we did that wrong. But that's okay. Here we go. We're coming in for the landing. Not my best approach, but here we are at the field. Soft field technique. We wouldn't have any engine power to utilize, so definitely a bit of a harsh landing, but flaps back up, and we're down. Fly brakes. What's so cool about this is because the ROG Ally has a touchscreen, you can basically do any of the functions on the flight instrument screen with the touchscreen. This one in particular works really good because it's so simple, so it's pretty easy to hit the right button you want to hit. Here's speed alive, gauges are green, full power from the engine. There's approaching VR. Knots. 45. You have to take off a thing of your flaps. Until we're gaining my speed here. Changing ground effect. Well, despite it being a little ridiculous, I of course had to do it. We are in the 747 now and taking off at the Paris airport. Okay, we'll go ahead and turn off the parking brake. Parking brake off. Flaps, we're not going to be using flaps for this takeoff. And let's go. We're backing out now. That's VR. Positive brake. Gear up. Alright, we are airborne. Now comes the challenge of trying to land somewhere. So that's always the challenge with these big planes. Take them off, not too bad, but trying to land them, ooh, it's a challenge. Alright, here's my attempt at landing here. Landing gear down. Check our approach angle. We're too high. Power down. Too much though, or we're stalling. But not sinking too fast. Apparently still too high, but I kind of doubt that. We're sinking fast. Oh, not my best landing. Okay, we kind of bounced in the 747 a little bit. Let's try to clean it up on the second bounce. Oh geez, we just bounced 20 feet in the air. We totally missed center line. Oh, we got to do the reverse thrusters. I believe oops, I mounted that. Hold on. There you go. So I put the reverse thrusters on, which will slow me down a lot quicker. Kind of forgot to do that, but either way. Oh wow, you can see how fast my my descent was there. Oh, that's a hard landing. Look at that bounce. think we may have broken the aircraft doing that. Forgot to put flaps up too. Pretty bad. This is mostly just to show what this is going to look like when you're doing more of a combat sim. So this is the F4. Here you can see the frame rate though, 60 frames per second. It's going to vary on the plane. Some planes are a little more demanding on the CPU than others, but very external view. Oh, yeah. I don't usually allow the external view, but something like this, just with a fighter jet, it's kind of fun doing it like this. I don't know how to use any of the weapons on this sim, but in DCS I'd be able to fire off a couple rockets if I was playing it. Right here. Sometimes I honestly like the circle view a little better. Because with this you can kind of just pick where you want to go. The aircraft movement. It's all controlled otherwise there. But it can be a little disorienting. A little hard to tell exactly what you're doing sometimes. But yeah, definitely having a lot of fun with this setup. It's far from perfect, but as you can see, it's pretty usable. All right, let's move on to conclusions now. Do I really think this setup is practical or realistic in any way? Now, as far as practicality goes, really more of an at-home setup. Yes, you could theoretically bring it into a coffee shop or bring it on the go, but it's a bit ridiculous to bring all this stuff with all these cables and everything. I did try to slim it down, have as few cables as possible, but you can see it was kind of unavoidable to a certain extent there. But I mean, this would be a really good setup if you're kind of living in a small space, going to school, perhaps doing flight lessons, or going to an aviation school. You'd be able to build a setup like this on the cheap. Like I said earlier, the throttle quadrant and the yoke, the Logitech X52, I got used for just $75 Canadian, which is around 60 American, I guess. Realistically, probably about 150 is what you're looking at, but beautiful setup. Honestly, really, really fun to play around with. Pretty crazy. I didn't really think this setup was going to be this practical, but I mean, it is one of the most compact flight sim setups I've seen, especially that has the dual screen setup. That's something that normally would take a lot of space. On that though, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please do make sure to like and comment on this video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to stay up to date on all my videos.